Writing a thesis, it's a rite of passage for so many. But let's be honest, it can feel like you're trying to map the entire universe by hand. The good news is, you don't have to go it alone. What if you had a research partner who could just sift through mountains of information in seconds and connect all these seemingly unrelated ideas and even help you visualize really complex data? Well, you do, thanks to AI. We're diving deep today into how AI can totally transform your thesis journey, not by writing it for you, but by acting as your secret weapon every step of the way. This deep dive, it's based on this guide we found, and it really breaks down how AI can streamline that whole process from brainstorming all the way to your defense. And I know for our listeners, especially those who are all about efficiency and that deep understanding, this is going to be pure gold.
Yeah, it's fascinating how AI is really changing the game for researchers. It's not just about automating tasks. It's about unlocking these new possibilities and amplifying your own capabilities. Imagine having a tireless research assistant who can just process information at lightning speed and help you see connections that you might have totally missed.
Okay, so let's start with that initial hurdle, choosing a topic.
Right.
You're staring at a blank page, you've got a million ideas swirling around in your head, and the pressure is on. This guide suggests using tools like ChatGPT and Google Trends to brainstorm ideas and to see what's trending in your field. So ChatGPT can help you explore different angles, and Google Trends can show you what topics are gaining traction, gives you a sense of what's relevant right now.
That's incredibly helpful, especially for anyone who's feeling overwhelmed by the sheer vastness of potential research areas out there. You can literally bounce ideas off an AI and get instant feedback, helping you narrow down that focus and find that perfect niche.
That's so cool. It's like having a brainstorming partner who's always available and who never gets tired of hearing your ideas. But speaking of information overload, once you have your topic, you're faced with this daunting task of diving into the literature, hours spent wading through endless search results and dense academic papers. It's enough to make anyone's head spin.
Yeah, this is where AI can really shine. Platforms like Semantic Scholar and Connected Papers, they're like supercharged search engines. For academic research, they use AI to sift through mountains of articles, identify the most relevant ones for your topic, and they even create these summaries that highlight the key findings. So instead of spending hours reading a lengthy paper, you can get the gist in minutes.
Wait, so you're telling me I can skip reading those super long papers? That sounds almost too good to be true. What's the catch?
Well, those AI-generated summaries, they're a great starting point. But it's important to remember, they're just that, summaries. You still need to dive into the original sources, critically evaluate the methodologies, and form your own interpretations. But AI can save you a ton of time by helping you quickly identify the most relevant papers and zero in on that key information.
So it's like having a research assistant who pre-reads everything and highlights the important parts for you so you can focus on the deep thinking and analysis. That's a game changer. And speaking of structure, which is essential for a strong thesis, where does AI fit into that part of the process?
Well, AI can actually help you create that structure and keep you on track. Throughout the entire writing process, tools like Notion AI can assist with project management by breaking down your massive thesis project into smaller, more manageable tasks. It can help you create a realistic timeline with deadlines, allocate time for specific tasks, and even suggest resources that might be helpful along the way.
So for someone like me, who thrives on lists and deadlines, Notion AI would be like my personal thesis coach, keeping me organized and motivated. That sounds incredibly helpful, especially when you're facing those moments of thesis overwhelm. But let's be real, the part that often causes the most stress is the actual writing. Is there any way AI can help us with that?
Absolutely. AI can be a really powerful writing assistant. It can help you articulate your thoughts more clearly, refine your arguments, and even polish your prose. Tools like ChatGPT and DeepL, they can suggest better ways to phrase sentences, identify areas where your logic might be weak, and even help you find the right tone for academic writing.
So it's like having a virtual editor who can help you smooth out those rough edges and make your writing sharper and more impactful. That sounds amazing. But I do have one concern. If AI is helping us with brainstorming and research and even writing, where do we draw the line? At what point does it become, cheating?
That's a great question. And it's one we need to be mindful of. As we embrace these powerful tools, the key here is transparency and intention. AI should be used to enhance your own skills and ideas, not to replace them.
So it's okay to use AI for inspiration, to get feedback on our writing, and even to help us analyze data, as long as we're the ones driving the process and making sure that final work is truly ours.
Exactly. Think of AI as a partner, not a ghostwriter. You're still the author. You're the one making those decisions and shaping the arguments. AI is there to support you, not to do the thinking for you.
I love that analogy. It makes me feel much more comfortable about using AI, and it's exciting to think about how these tools can help us push the boundaries of research and unlock new insights. But now I'm curious, how does AI actually help us analyze data, especially for those of us who aren't exactly coding whizzes?
Well, there are tools for both quantitative and qualitative data. So for quantitative data, which is things like numbers and statistics, AI can help you identify trends, make predictions, and even visualize your findings in ways that are easy to understand.
That sounds amazing. But I have to confess, coding is not my strong suit. Is there any hope for those of us who are less technically inclined?
Absolutely. There are platforms out there that can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, even if you don't know how to code. For example, there are AI-powered tools that can automatically build statistical models, identify patterns in your data, and even generate reports that explain the findings in plain English.
So it's like having a data scientist on call, ready to crunch the numbers and translate the results into something I can actually understand. That's a game changer, especially for those of us who are more comfortable with words than numbers. But what about qualitative data? Things like interviews and text documents. How can AI help us make sense of all that information?
Well, there are tools for that too. Let's say, for example, you're analyzing interview transcripts, looking for recurring themes. AI can help you cluster similar responses, saving you hours of manual coding. And it can highlight those patterns you might not have noticed on your own.
That's incredibly helpful. It's like having an assistant who can read through all those transcripts and organize the information in a way that makes it easier to analyze. And I bet that saves a ton of time, which is always a bonus when you're working on a thesis. But with all this talk about AI's capabilities, I do wonder about the potential downsides.
It's important to remember that AI is still a relatively new technology, and there are definitely challenges and limitations we need to be aware of.
Exactly, and I think that's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive, where we'll explore some of those challenges, the ethical considerations, and the future of AI in academia. Stay tuned, because this conversation is just getting started. Welcome back to our deep dive into AI and thesis writing. In part 1, we explored how AI can be your secret weapon for brainstorming, research, and even writing. But we also touched on the importance of using these tools ethically and intentionally. Now, let's get a bit more practical and explore how AI can help us refine those crucial elements that form the backbone of your thesis, the problem statement and hypotheses. Right. These are like the foundation of your research. And getting them right is essential.
Absolutely. A clear and well-defined problem statement. It really sets the stage for your entire research project. It's what guides your investigation and helps you stay focused on that core issue that you're trying to address. And AI can actually help you sharpen that focus and articulate your problem statement more effectively.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does that work?
Well, imagine you have a rough idea of what you want to research, but you're struggling to put it into a clear and concise statement. Tools like ChatGPT can help you refine the wording, identify any logical gaps, and ensure that your problem statement is specific, measurable, and aligned with your research goals.
So it's like having a brainstorming partner who can help you untangle your thoughts and articulate your research question in a way that's both clear and compelling.
Exactly. And when it comes to formulating your hypotheses, AI can suggest different ways to phrase them based on the variables and relationships you're exploring. It can also help you make sure that your hypotheses are testable, which is crucial for conducting rigorous research.
Testability, that's the key.
Right.
You need to be able to design a study that can actually answer your research question and either support or refute your hypotheses.
That's right. AI can help you make sure your hypotheses are framed in a way that allows for empirical testing, making your research more robust.
Incredible. Okay, so AI can help us with the big picture stuff. But what about the nitty-gritty of organizing and managing this massive project? I know for me, staying organized is a constant struggle, especially when you're dealing with so much information and so many deadlines.
This is where a tool like Notion AI can be a real game changer, especially for our listeners who, thrive on structure and a clear path forward. Think of it as a virtual command center for your entire thesis project.
A command center, I like that. Tell me more.
Well, for starters, Notion AI can help you break down those overwhelming tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks.
Right.
It can create a detailed timeline with deadlines for each stage of your research, From literature review to data analysis to writing and revisions, it can even send you reminders to keep you on track.
So it's like having a personal assistant who keeps nudging you and saying, hey, don't forget about that literature review deadline. That would be so helpful, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed and don't know where to start.
Exactly. And Notion AI goes beyond just scheduling. It can also suggest relevant resources based on what you're working on, help you organize your notes and research materials, and even generate reports on your progress so you can actually see how far you've come.
Wow, that's impressive. It sounds like Notion AI could really help me tame the chaos and keep me focused on what needs to get done. But let's talk about the actual writing process. We've touched on how AI can help with grammar and style, but can it do even more to support us in crafting those all-important chapters?
Absolutely. AI can assist with drafting different sections of your thesis, from the introduction to the literature review to the methodology
And results.
sections.
Hold on, is AI going to write my entire thesis for me?
Not quite. It's important to remember that AI is a tool, not a replacement for your own thinking and analysis. You know those core ideas, the arguments, and the interpretations. They have to come from you. But AI can provide a starting point, a framework, or even just a fresh perspective to help you overcome writer's block and articulate your thoughts more effectively.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's like having a co-writer who can brainstorm with you, offer suggestions, and help you flesh out your ideas. But you're still the author. You're the one in control of the narrative.
Precisely. AI can help you structure your arguments, connect ideas in a logical way, and even suggest alternative perspectives you might not have considered. It's all about enhancing your writing, not dictating it.
I like that. It feels more collaborative, like having a partner in the writing process. Can you give me a specific example of how this might work?
Sure. Let's say you're struggling to write your introduction. You could feed ChatGPT a brief summary of your research question, a few key points you want to cover, and maybe even an example of an introduction you really admire. The AI can then generate a draft introduction that you can use as a starting point. You can then edit it, refine it, and make it your own.
So it's like giving AI a set of ingredients and letting it whip up a first draft, but you're still the chef, adding your own flavors and spices to create the final dish.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance between human creativity
Right.
and AI's computational power.
Now, let's dive into data analysis, which can be a major hurdle for a lot of thesis writers. We talked about this briefly in part 1, but I think it deserves a deeper dive.
You're right. Whether you're dealing with quantitative data, like numbers and statistics, or qualitative data, like text and interviews, AI can be a game changer. It can automate those tedious tasks, reveal hidden patterns, and make data analysis feel much less daunting.
Okay, break it down for me. How can AI tackle both types of data?
So for quantitative data, you know Python libraries like Pandas and NumPy. They're essential tools. They allow you to manipulate and analyze large data sets with ease. And for visualizing your findings, Matplotlib is a powerful library. You can create these stunning graphs, charts.
That sounds great. But coding isn't exactly my forte. Is there any hope for those of us who are less technically inclined?
Absolutely. There are AI-powered platforms out there, like DataRobot, that can automate parts of the data analysis process. They use machine learning algorithms to build predictive models, identify trends, and even generate insights without requiring extensive coding knowledge.
So it's like having a data scientist in your pocket, ready to crunch numbers and uncover hidden patterns, without you having to write a single line of code.
Exactly. And for qualitative data, there are tools like NVivo that can help you organize code and analyze large amounts of text. These tools can help you identify themes, patterns, and connections in your data, making the process of qualitative analysis much more efficient and insightful.
This is making me realize that AI is not just a tool. For tech-savvy researchers, it's accessible to everyone, regardless of their technical background. It's all about finding the right tools for your specific needs and learning how to use them effectively.
Precisely. AI is democratizing data analysis, making it possible for anyone to extract meaningful insights from their research.
Okay, so we've covered brainstorming, problem statements, structuring, writing, and even data analysis. What's next on our AI-powered thesis journey?
Well, once you've written your masterpiece, it's time for that crucial step of editing and revising. And you guessed it, AI can be your trusty sidekick here too.
I knew it. I can't imagine tackling those revisions without my AI grammar checker. But what else can AI do to help us polish our prose?
Well, tools like Grammarly are fantastic for catching those pesky typos, grammatical errors, and stylistic inconsistencies we all miss. But AI can go beyond just basic proofreading. Some AI tools can actually simulate peer review, providing feedback on the clarity of your arguments, the flow of your writing, and even potential areas for improvement.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal editor on call, 24/7, ready to provide feedback and suggestions to elevate your writing.
Exactly. And for our listeners who are all about continuous improvement, this can be a really valuable resource. It allows you to get that fresh perspective on your work and identify areas that might need further refinement before you submit it to your advisor.
But of course, we can't talk about editing without addressing plagiarism. Academic integrity is paramount, and AI can be a valuable ally in ensuring that our work is original and properly cited.
Absolutely. Tools like Turnitin, they're indispensable for detecting potential instances of plagiarism. They compare your text against a massive database of academic sources, flagging any suspicious similarities.
So it's like having a safety net, ensuring that our work is not only well written, but also ethically sound.
Exactly. But ultimately, the responsibility lies with us, the writers, to cite our sources properly and avoid any unintentional plagiarism. AI can assist with detection, but it's up to the human author to understand and adhere to those principles of academic integrity. It's a partnership, not a shortcut.
And now for the grand finale, the thesis defense. It's the culmination of all your hard work, and it can be a nerve-wracking experience, but AI can be your secret weapon here too.
Imagine walking into your defense feeling confident and prepared, knowing you've anticipated those tough questions and have well-crafted responses ready. AI can help you achieve that.
Okay, I'm all ears. How can AI help us conquer those defense jitters?
Well, AI can actually generate potential questions your committee might ask based on your thesis topic and the research you've conducted. This gives you a chance to practice your answers, refine your arguments, and anticipate potential challenges.
That's brilliant. It's like having a sneak peek
Yeah,
into your committee's minds.
exactly. And it goes beyond just generating questions. AI can also provide feedback on your answers, suggesting ways to improve clarity, strengthen your arguments, and project confidence in your delivery.
It's like having a personal debate coach, helping you hone your presentation skills. This has been an incredible journey so far. We've explored how AI can revolutionize every stage of the thesis process, from brainstorming to defense. It's clear that AI is not just a fad. It's a powerful tool that can empower researchers and enhance the quality of academic work.
What's really exciting is that we're only scratching the surface of AI's potential in academia. As these tools continue to evolve, we can expect even more innovative ways to leverage AI to accelerate discovery, deepen our understanding, and make knowledge more accessible.
It's like we're on the cusp of a new era of research, where AI is not just a sidekick, but a full-fledged partner in the pursuit of knowledge. But as with any powerful tool, it's crucial that we use it responsibly, ensuring that human ingenuity remains at the heart of the academic enterprise.
Well said. And with that, we'll wrap up part 2 of our deep dive into AI and thesis writing. Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll explore those broader implications of AI in academia and delve deeper into the future of AI-powered research.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Over the last 2 parts, we've been exploring how AI can be a total game changer for thesis writing. It's like having this superpowered research assistant right by your side, helping you with everything, from finding sources to analyzing data and even polishing your writing.
It really is incredible to see how AI is transforming the entire research process, making it more efficient, more insightful, and even, dare I say, more enjoyable.
I totally agree. But as with any powerful tool, it's important to use it wisely and responsibly. And I know for our listeners, especially those who are committed to ethical scholarship, this is a topic that's top of mind.
Absolutely. As AI becomes more sophisticated and integrated into our workflows, it's essential to consider the potential implications, both positive and negative.
Okay, so let's dive into some of those considerations. What are some of the key things we should be thinking about when we're using AI in our research?
Well, I think one of the most important things is to maintain a clear understanding of AI's role in the research process. AI is a tool, a powerful one, but it's still just a tool. It's there to augment our capabilities, not to replace our own thinking, creativity, and judgment.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. It's like the difference between using a calculator to do complex calculations and actually understanding the underlying mathematical principles. AI can help us with the mechanics, but it's still up to us to interpret the results and draw those meaningful conclusions.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that AI is only as good as the data it's trained on. So if the data is biased or incomplete, the AI's output
Hmm.
is going to reflect those biases
Hmm.
and limitations.
So we need to be critical consumers of AI, just like we are with
Yep.
any other source of information. We can't just blindly trust what the AI tells us. We need to evaluate it, question it,
Mm,
and consider its limitations.
absolutely. And that's where human expertise and judgment come in. We need to be able to assess the validity
Mm.
of the AI's output, identify potential biases, and ensure that the results align with our own knowledge and understanding.
As if a field,
Collision.
there's great points. It's a reminder that AI is not a magic solution. It's a tool that needs to be used thoughtfully
Yeah.
and carefully. And when it comes to using AI in our writing, how can we ensure that we're not
Great.
crossing any ethical lines?
Transparency is key. When we use AI tools to assist with our writing, it's important to be upfront about it.
Yeah.
We should acknowledge the use of AI in our work, explain how it was used, and make sure that any AI-generated content
Right.
is clearly identified and properly reviewed.
So if I'm using AI to help me generate ideas or refine my writing style, I should be transparent about that in my footnotes or acknowledgments.
Exactly. It's about being honest and ethical in our scholarship. And of course, we still need to make sure that our work is properly cited and that we're not plagiarizing any sources, whether human or AI-generated.
That's a really important reminder. Plagiarism is a serious academic offense, and using AI doesn't give us a free pass. We still need to be diligent about citing our sources
Yeah.
and making sure that our work is original.
Absolutely. And tools like Turnitin can be incredibly helpful in this regard. They can help us check for unintentional plagiarism.
And ensure that our work meets the highest standards of academic integrity.
So to sum it up, use AI wisely, be transparent about how you're using it, cite your sources properly, and rely on plagiarism checkers to keep you on the right track. Well said. And as we embrace the power of AI, it's important to remember that the goal is not to replace human researchers, but to empower them. AI can free us from those tedious tasks, help us see patterns we might have missed, and accelerate the pace of discovery.
It's like having a super-powered research assistant who can handle the heavy lifting, allowing us to focus on the big ideas, the creative insights, and the deeper questions that really drive our research.
Exactly. And that's what makes this such an exciting time to be a researcher. AI is opening up these new frontiers of knowledge and empowering us to tackle challenges that were once considered insurmountable.
It's truly a transformative moment for academia, and I'm sure our listeners are eager to explore these possibilities and see how AI can shape their own research journeys. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what final thoughts would you like to leave our audience with?
I would encourage everyone to approach AI with both enthusiasm and a healthy dose of critical thinking. Embrace the power of these tools, but use them thoughtfully, ethically, and always with the goal of advancing knowledge and understanding.
Beautifully said. And on that note, we'll bring this deep dive to a close. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the world of AI and thesis writing. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible